Well, good morning, my friends. Good evening and good afternoon, perhaps. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining me for another exciting episode of the 3D Shenanigans. The Brian is here. How exciting. Miss Nancy is here. There's also the Julia is here. She's actually currently playing pinball, so very cool. Mr. Deviant is here, all the way from Australia. This is exciting. And Miss Callie is here. How exciting. Good to see you all. It's been a fun session yesterday, I thought, and we could just, start off exactly keep going where we left off yesterday, namely finishing those little animations, I thought. And just as a quick reminder, if you weren't here yesterday, that is totally fine. I'm using assets from the Humble Bundle store, and if you head over here to bundles under software, there's 2 Unreal Engine asset packs that you can get for about $25. This one here, and then the other one is Unreal Engine Essentials. That actually finishes in less than 48 hours. So if you want to pick it up, have a look. There's some things that were working really well, other things that were not working so well, some things we haven't had a chance to look at. So I'm going to have a look at a couple more today. But these are some of the ones that I'm going to build an animation with. So this one, the Ancient Mountain, that worked really well. And all we needed to do is add that decal on there. And this is something that I've forgotten how to do yesterday. Thankfully, I could remember overnight, and so that's one thing we want to do. The other thing is this one here, the Olympus Temple of the Gods. That will feature the 3D Shenanigans logo kind of at the back here. And that logo wasn't quite built yet, so we need to just quickly finish that off in Blender, put that there, and then that's 2 animations out of the way. And then the third thing I'm trying to do is build an animation, I think in this here, in the modular medieval town mega pack that we've had a look at yesterday. And I want to populate that town also with the logo, but also with lots of randomly walking Unreal Engine mannequins. So I'll see if I can remember how to do that. That might not be something we can do today, but certainly these 2 animations, that's totally what's going to happen today. Let's go do this thing. Thank you, Brian. Exactly, on the Humble. And if you buy them via that link, I even get a tiny cut, which is always greatly appreciated. So let's remember what we did and how we did it, shall we? I believe we were in Unreal Engine 5.2, I think. Were we? We weren't we? Let's go and finish that first animation off before we do the before we deal with the logo. So 5.2. Boom. This is the decals test I did yesterday. I did this one a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, hey, decals were really easy. Turns out all I needed to do was switch to the material domain on that particular material. So we're not building a castle, Nate, but there is a castle in the background, if that helps. So I think the camera animation is pretty much there. Decal needs to be done, and I think I also want to add more of the particle effects, like flying leaves and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they've done it and how I can replicate that. How's Mr. Nate today? Also, how's your mom? If she's watching, hello, Dragonate's mom. Always good to see you. Disappointed. Why is that? Because of the castle. I don't know if you've seen that, Nate. I put SanDisk, was it SanDisk? Western Digital? I can't remember. Evo 970 Plus M2 drive into my PlayStation yesterday, and switched on the PlayStation, and the PlayStation said, no, that drive is completely unusable for me. I don't want to use that. You have to take it out, and then you can play games again. But I cannot work with this drive inside. It's like it doesn't work. I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just going to tell you that's just not going to work. And I thought, that is drivist. That's just so drivist. Poor PlayStation. Humble treasures #1. That's what we did. And I've started another little project that we could use to look at some of the other assets, see how good they are. It's very hit and miss with these assets. It's disrespecting, isn't it? It's a Samsung. Thank you, Deviant. And you know what? Amazon have just delivered the 980 that I've ordered as a replacement. I'll let you know if it's a fake or not. Crazy stuff. Mom's also not bad. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's good to know. That's good to hear. Can I remember? Can I even remember? Oh, this is our sequencer. That's nice. That's not quite the label that we need. Which one was that again? Was it Feather? No, Feather was a house, French village, medieval town, Olympus. The Messenger, that was it. The Messenger. And what was our level again? Demo level probably, right? I think. I don't remember. The disrespect. The disrespect. This was it. This was pretty much it. And I had my own camera actor in here, or so I thought. Was that not the case? I thought in cinematics I had, no, this is, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. And if we go and take a look, and this is what we have. So that's good. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I might start the animation a little bit slower. I literally did one tiny change, and you probably won't even notice it, and that's that the camera here, we set that keyframe and I set another one here so that it's a tiny bit lower, or maybe it hasn't actually saved it, so we'll see. We'll see. And then we go over here, and then we go around to the side of the wing, and the wing, the green thing, that's the decal, that's going to be on the wing, so that's just going to be my logo. That's the plan. And I think the only other small change maybe I made it and I didn't save it, was that I liked the camera to be slightly lower here. So where we are here, I'd like for the camera to be lower to the ground, but I think that's just easily doable. And then we'll see what that looks like. So while we start with some good particle effects here, I would like to keep those and just have them throughout the path. You know, have some here and have some here, especially by the tree. I don't think he has some, so I'll just go and replicate that so that we see wafty foliage and all lots of like little bits flying in the air. So that's the plan. Let's go and deal with that decal now then. This is it, and it's green because I have, this is the base material for it, and I think the reason why it didn't work was because here on the material itself, I've set it to translucent, that's correct, but the material domain needs to be set to deferred decal, and then it should be all super awesome. I think opacity goes in here, RGB goes in there. Should be good. It should all be good. Hey, and there is the handsome WP Guru logo just about appearing somewhere. I think the scale might be a little bit off here. Set that to 1 so that it's not quite square. This might also be rotated incorrectly and positioned incorrectly. I currently can't see if it's even remotely how we wanted it to be. Certainly something. Yeah, I think the box itself isn't scaled correctly, is it? Decals and projections is always a bit of a problem to get these things right. Are we on the back? Oh yeah, so it's projected it on the back, so it means it's the wrong way around, I think. That's almost okay. Just needs to be, no, not like that. It's nope, not like that. It needs to be turned the other way, man. Yeah, there we go. We're almost there. It's just the wrong way around now. Man, why? There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. I don't mind the aspect ratio getting stretched a little bit. Was it this here? Was it that? That go? No, this here. No, that's not it. That'll kind of work, won't it? As a reveal, I'm okay with the whole it not being perfect because it might be kind of spray painted on there. Might also be nice to take the opacity down just a notch. Should it be bigger? Should it be... How does that integrate into the rest of the angel? I think it'll work. I think it'll work. Not bad, right? I like that you can see all the detail coming through here in the decal, because the texture itself looks so flat. Brilliant! I'm buying it. This is great. Maybe it's a little bit cut off there, so maybe just a tiny bit up. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Great, we're nearly done with the first animation. So the second thing I wanted to have a quick look at is are these beautiful particle emitters. There's also, for extra credit, I don't know if we're going to make that happen, but do you remember the seagulls from the other two levels? There's some beautiful birds in the air, and I don't know how easy it is to just bring them into this level, but yeah, it's this sort of particle effect that I'm after here. That's a light, isn't it? So that's probably not what we want. Don't need that. Outliner. That's the point light. Is this the emitter here? No, that's the God Ray thing. Let's have a look at just Niagara actors. We don't have Niagara actors. How interesting. So how else did you do the particle effects then? Like this maybe? Is that it? Leaves. Emitter. Perfect. That is what I want. Emitter. Leaf. Gotcha. Which one's this one? And that's that one. Oops. That's at least something to look for here. VFX leaves. Whoops. Dude, seriously. So maybe I'll just go and duplicate that and move it over where our camera moves, and it makes the leaves fall. Maybe I'll just make that a bit bigger. Does that work? Was that smaller? Yeah, or that just makes the whole thing bigger and smaller. That's not what I want. So definitely one by the tree here. And they've done it the cheap way, much like I will do that as well. It'll be the cheap way to just put, rather than change the settings on the emitter, I'll just put lots of them there. And then that'll be that. So just duplicate that over here, put that here, maybe make it slightly higher. And dot a few more around here. Especially on that path here. Now, Alt left click is how you duplicate things, if you ever needed to do that. Alrighty, do we see them as we fly through here? Yes. Now we see just lots of stuff flying through the air. That's exactly what I want. Perfect. And then we approach her from here, and then there's the beautiful decal. Awesome stuff. Do we also need some of these flying around on the statue maybe? That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, with these things falling down here, I think that would be beautiful. Let's try that. It totally is an emitter, isn't it? that might be difficult. I think I have an asset that is choppable, choppable apple trees. And I think they try to do something similar there, that you can, that the apples wobble as you chop the trees. And I don't know if that was well done or not. I can't recall. Yes, if I put one just above the statue and then duplicate that a few times, that might just be beautiful. It's like straight above her, over her head. Man. And since we might need a few more, I'll just use 6. See what that's like. Oh, so they don't seem to drop things or by... They literally only generate these leaves in the cloud there. They don't drop leaves and then they fall down. I'm sure that's something I can change on the emitter itself, but I don't think I know how to do that. Maybe I'll go and scale them like that. This may be too much, but we'll see. We'll see what our camera says when we... Lots of stuff flying, more stuff flying. I mean, that looks nice. It's almost like... Maybe it is a bit too much. Perhaps it's too much. It's a bit too much, isn't it? A few is nice. Too many is just too many. We don't see the logo anymore. The scene itself, I'm sure you can do that. I think these are all just elements that you can... like this would be an element. You can make that, you know, lift that up, or just... This is kind of difficult, well, not so much difficult, but it's time consuming to do that. Sometimes you get an asset pack that's literally just, I'll just take 2, 3 away. Sometimes you get an asset pack that's just these elements and nothing built with it, but that's really what you're meant to do. You take these elements here and then you duplicate them around until you have something that you like. And that's then your level. So you're not really meant to rely on pre-built levels, even though that is what many of us do want to do. It's still too many, isn't it? Also, they look mangled now. Okay, let me start this again with the one that, you know, wasn't mangled, with this one here. Maybe the scaling mangled it, that could be. J mangles emitter. Due to lack of knowledge. Not good, man, not good. Wouldn't that be cool? I've angered the leaves, yes, 100%. Brian, this is something I wanted to ask you actually. I've never got this question before, but I immediately thought of you and a little co-production project we could maybe tackle together. So usually people understand that they can go and take a DAS character and put that into Character Creator, but for the first time I think I got the question, can I actually put a Character Creator character into DAS Studio? And I thought, ooh, that is an interesting question, and I was wondering if you wanted to make a video together with me, like a two-parter basically. You can tackle the part that goes from character creator to export with a single UDIM tile, and then you give it to me and I go and do this with the I do the conversion into DAS. Is that something you're interested in? No rush, of course. I just thought that's a kind of a cool project. It doesn't have to be a stream. It doesn't have to be a live thing. It could just be like a two-part recording thing. I'm still a bit confused about when the emitter actually starts generating stuff. So I think I have to just wait a second for it to kick in and populate all the bits that we need here. So this is just a single one, and that might actually be enough. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I just need one more slightly further towards the front. I've angered the emitter gods. What was I thinking? So I'm kind of expecting there to be more things in front of her face now, in a minute at least. Unless I am, you know, incorrect about how this thing works. Sounds good, right? I think that'd be a cool challenge. I remember us trying to do that before, about maybe a couple of years ago, but we weren't exactly sure about the whole process of getting this, getting the single UDIMs to work. And now we know just so much stuff. I'm thinking, hey, this is going to be awesome. Excellent. You see, this is all good, but now, of course, I need another one over here, don't I? But that's easy to just duplicate this guy. Put you here, put you down. See leaves popping out. I must apologize to the leaves. Leaves, I am so sorry. This'll work. This will work. I say let's quickly render this out with the movie render queue and see what it looks like. Do we have it enabled? Movie render queue, we do not. We don't need the additional beta passes here. We're okay with that. Let's see how it goes. Oh, is there? Well, that is even cooler, because I remember in the previous version that was not the case. And I remember us trying, this is how we got onto Simple Bake in the first place, wasn't it? And yeah, so now we know how to use that. Now iClone has this thing to consolidate everything. This is good to know. This is good to know. I was thinking even, is it possible to, I suppose I know the answer to that. Would it be possible to ask wrap to take a multi-UDIM import object and give it a multi-UDIM export object? Probably not, because it wouldn't know where to do the seams. It probably will kind of do it, because if it can export UDIMs, I'm sure it understands UDIMs on import. It's just difficult for it, I guess, to then go, well, here's the seam from the head to the shoulders, for example, because they're on separate UDIM tiles, and I can either display this one or that one. So I can't mix the two things together for your output. So probably not. But I was just thinking that's it's another interesting one. Maps. Was it demo level? I think it was demo level, wasn't it? I should really make a copy of this and then just call it, you know, I think I might just do that. Make that save current level as, and then make a proper maps folder here. J's maps. And not demo level, but something more descriptive, which is what is it? Messenger animation, I suppose. We'll just call it that. Messenger animation. I like it. And then this can be also maybe the first map that opens. messenger animation. And this we don't actually need here. Alright. And then let's render this out. It doesn't have to be at 4K just yet. Oh, actually, do we need just one point light here by the WP Guru? I have a feeling we do. It's perhaps not all that close. That might be a little bit too close. Just to brighten this up a little bit. That was too far away, wasn't it now? Yeah, just so that we know it's important. This is important. Nice one. Okay. Save everything. Bring on movie render queue. That's the one. And we probably don't want to save that there. We want to... That's okay. We can probably do this 1280 by 720 for now. Custom frame rate. Let's go look at this in 60 frames at least, I'm thinking. And then... I think I want some anti-aliasing as well. Let's say 4. We don't, maybe just 1. And then we want some warm-up frames because of the particle emitter. So let's give them 200 frames either side. And then on the output here, let's put that into "3D Shenanigans." And this one is Messenger. And inside Messenger we have V1. Okay. Let's see if that works. Anti-aliasing is still not happy. Temporal anti-aliasing, at least 8 samples. Increase spatial. How about that? To maintain visual quality. How did I get rid of that last time? There was something. I did get rid of that. Was it just with 4? 4 and 4? That might be just overkill. It's overkill for now. We're gonna live with 1, really. We're gonna live with 1. And it's gonna be fine for now. Also, configuration, save as, and I'll put that into something like render settings. Let's say preview render 60 FPS. Let's see how it goes, shall we? Compiling shaders, always good, always good. You don't think UDIN tiles can be chosen on load? No, I'm thinking that maybe might not be the case either, and it would be kind of an issue there. I totally agree. I wouldn't know how it would be able to mix and match seams. That might make sense. Sound effect bundles. Okay, I'll take a look. Thank you. Always good. Sometimes these bundles, there can be some treasures in there. Sometimes it can be hit and miss. There's so many of these marketplaces, like Chris uses the Envato marketplace. I use them as well. They have really nice assets as well. There we go. how fast that gets rendered out. But I think we need a few more preview frames because I don't quite see. I see the leaves now, so that's like after about 500 frames, but I don't see them in the beginning because they hadn't spawned then. So maybe we do need to give that like maybe 1,000 preview frames. They did take a while to kick in. But I mean, that is bad for something we've half-heartedly cobbled together. And it's always the real test is what does this look like in kind of full frame. I'm thinking 44 gigabytes, that is very large, yes. Where are they from? Are they from Humble Bundle as well? I'll make a new project here and I'll call that what will I call that? Maybe 3 Shenanigans Anims 2023. How about that? Yeah, they're really good, especially if you have needs for clip arts all the time. That and Canva. This is the other thing that we use. Canva is also pretty cool. And then, of course, nowadays, it sounds crazy, but Midjourney, that's the other thing that we use for quick thumbnails. If you really don't have the time and you think, hey, I really need to make something. I might just go and call this one Messenger V1, just because I know I will otherwise forget. Messenger. Image sequence. Messenger V1. Let's go and sequence from clip. This can go into footage. And this is then full resolution. See what that looks like. Yeah, so the particle emitter needs to start. The leaves aren't there yet. And then if we crank up anti-aliasing, these jittery things will look better. Here we have the particle emitter. That looks nice. I'm feeling here there's a bit of nothingness going on, so we could probably have something else there. This looks nice. And bottom left corner. I think I'm happy with the right side, but this side here. This down here, I feel that needs more stuff, as if maybe just more particles would be good. That is very nice. 60 frame automatic, I love it. Yeah, so this needs to have kicked off at this point already. And then I think I'll do a bit of color correction here on the in Premiere. I was going to put the camera down here a little bit, but now that I see the particles, I'm actually okay with that. Yes, here I'm thinking we're not quite, there's something almost missing here. I feel like we need to have something more interesting down here. So perhaps the 3D Shenanigans logo, or not. What do you think? Same here. I think we need something more here. And then down here. So I think those are just two duplicates of the particle emitter. This could perhaps be adjusted a bit. Let's do that first. This one and that one, and then we'll try to do the camera move here. Just be slightly closer to the ground. Okay. I think it's coming together. Sometimes the trouble with assets is also that you can't have too many because there comes a point where you might not know what assets you have. So there's a danger in collecting assets and then not exactly knowing what the ones are that you might want to use, if you know what I mean. Where's this one here? Up, is that 13, 14? Why don't you light up? That is just so rude. There it was, 18. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. I'm copying this one and putting that down in the hope that this fills my gap down here. And then I might go and duplicate you over yonder here. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Duplicate you over here and then put you kind of here. Just to fill that bit out. And we did say I did anger the leaf gods by scaling this up, but maybe that was because I did it so randomly. Maybe if I just do it like 1.3 and then that scales everything up. Just have something in the background there. Let's see what that looks like. Still not exactly getting what I need down here in the corner here. Where is that? He's a bit too low, isn't he? I think that's it. This is where we want that. Perfect. So we've got that here, and we've got some stuff over here too. Goody stuff. I like it. I think I might also make that a bit longer here while we're playing with the timing. Like these last few keyframes, they could probably just go down here. And then we're on the logo a little bit longer. We might as well make that an even 35 seconds-ish here. Perfection. Yeah, make that just a bit slower and linger longer on the logo. Linger longer. The Beard Goblin is here. How's it going? How's it going? Good to see you, buddy. That is good. I'm in the background. I love it. This is good. Good to see you. Wonderful to see you. Kelly, in my honest opinion, comparing DAZ, Blender and Unreal, which is easiest one to animate in? That's tough to say. I think DAZ Studio is the easiest one to use and come to grips with how animation works and what you can do with the parameters, because everything is so easily accessible, including posing and morphs and all that. So DAZ Studio wins in ease of use overall, but lacks in animation features. So I suppose Blender then would be in the middle point. It's difficult to get going, but it has very powerful tools, and I think it then shares that spot with Unreal Engine, which is also incredibly difficult to use. But once you understand the tools, it's probably the fastest to animate in. I wouldn't say the easiest, it's probably the fastest out of all the three to do results like this. So like these things I'm doing here, the other thing with the camera change, that is just so incredibly easy to do. If I'm thinking this point where the camera is, if I wanted to put that down here, I'm thinking I'll probably make myself a second viewport. Viewport 2, perfect. So this is now my camera here, and this here is where I can find stuff. So these things are difficult to do in DAZ Studio otherwise. In Blender you can get these things done, but yeah, I'm thinking I like to be closer to the ground, like so. I think that makes that shot a lot more dramatic here. I thought I had tried that, but I guess that didn't work. This is Z, so keyframe at Z. There's another keyframe over there that needs to go away now, which is that. Ding. This may be a little bit too low now. Yeah, that's just too low, isn't it? Let's not do that then. Let's bring the camera up a tad. So I suppose the problem with Unreal Engine is that the concept and getting started with it itself is just seriously tricky. But it has an incredibly nice set of assets, so that is its big advantage, I think, over Blender. Was it yaw? This? No, it wasn't yaw. Let's not do yaw. Was it roll? No, it wasn't roll. It was it pitch? Just to tilt it up a little bit, like when I say a little bit, that's really what I meant. There. Hope I haven't ruined this. No. This is nice. This is good. I don't need this anymore then. Okay, and with 1000 frames to begin with, and then that thing should, you know, that should be our second animatic. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna go and put it into the other another folder. Oh, that's what you mean, because you don't know that that exists still. Messenger v2, there we go. So Messenger v2, perfect. And we said we could try more anti-aliasing, so we could say 8 here, and then render warm-up count 1000 frames. Accept and render. Okay, woohoo. Yes, and these assets, they might be somewhat of a benefit. I mean, Blender, there's a ton of free assets for Blender as well, but they often, it's difficult to get a hold of them and install them, and that kind of, Unreal Engine makes that really easy. You just keep collecting them and you just put them into a project and you play around, but it's the learning curve to get to a level where you can do stuff is a bit tricky with Unreal Engine, to be honest. It's the same with Blender. Some people have problems with Blender because it's scary to get going, you know. But once you get over that, you can do amazing things with both applications. And DAZ Studio is a little bit more limited, I suppose, especially in the animation realm, but it does make it really easy to get started. So some of the tools that we lack in things like Blender and Unreal Engine is their posing stuff and all their follower clothing stuff. That is all incredibly difficult in other applications, and that's where DAZ Studio wins. So combination of all of them is exactly what we need. It takes longer to render now because every image gets rendered essentially 8 times because of the anti-aliasing that I've had there, and that should look a little bit better. I still don't see all that many leaves as I had expected, especially in this tree at the front there. So maybe we need more frames to get going, possibly. Or we just need, more particle emitters. That's also possible. Hello there, Mr. Chris. How's it going? Yeah, Blender is very much a do-it-yourself tool. I think hardcore Blender users, they like doing everything themselves rather than get anything pre-built. Whereas Unreal Engine is different. There's a whole cottage industry of makers that make assets, and then there's other people who use assets to build a level, and then there's even other people who go and do cinematics and animations, and then other people do full games, and they're more involved in the logic and bringing it all together. But there's often in the indie dev's head, I suppose, you do everything yourself, but there's just not enough time on the planet in your life to do that. Yeah, I think more particles in the front. I still don't know why they don't come out. I like the motion blur as well. I didn't even know I had it. Totally forgot. Yeah, I suppose the graphics card, you'll run into that problem no matter which application you use. So it doesn't really matter then if you use DAZ Studio or Blender or Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is very hardware hungry, so if you have a kind of a modest graphics card, I would probably focus on Blender. It's also the most versatile. I forgot to do something about this area here. I find that a little bit boring here. Maybe we need to do something. Oh yeah, we're going to do the logo. I remember now. Maybe there could be like an overgrown 3D Shenanigans logo. Something like that. Before we have the angelic vision of that messenger on top of the hill. That's the plan anyway. Not sure what's going on in the background here. That is... Hope that's not going to come out and that's only there in the preview. How's this weekend treating you, Chris? Good to see you, buddy. How was the Saturday Night Social that I've missed, sadly? The Lady of the Sacred Shenanigan. That's exactly right, yes. I don't actually recall if we had depth of field in here. I don't think I have. I might just leave it as it is because, you know, we have another full animation to make. Looking forward to seeing this in 4K, you know. Oh, I don't have a 4K monitor. Dang. No point. The Lady of the Angry Leaves. That's her. That's her. Lady of the Angry Leaves. Okay, come on. Nearly done, love. Nearly done. I think anything above 8 in regards to anti-aliasing you don't actually see. I've done some tests on this and you can exponentially increase your render time there. If you say like 4 temporal and 4 spatial, that's basically 16 samples in total. And that would take twice as long to render as this. And it makes absolutely no difference. It's refreshing to see. I like seeing tests like that and you go, ah, It make no difference. Messenger v2. Sequence from clip. Alright, here we go. So some of the grizzly bits have gone away and the lines look a bit smoother. I do need to fix the stuff there. That's just uncool. Also the flickering, I'm not a fan. So that could be the JPEG compression and also the fact that it's not 1920 by 1080. So that waterfall definitely comes out. So we'll have a look at what's eating it. So I'm happy with the end shot. I see where the particles are now. We could lift this up a tad, but I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I also don't perceive the bit that I was afraid of as boring anymore. And I might just go and duplicate some of the particle effects at the front. Maybe it's not the duration then. I'm okay with the camera movement. That particle emitter needs to come down a bit. Or get duplicated. Here we're good. I think it's, it's just Leaf Alley. It's just all very leafy and floating. I like it. I totally upset the particle emitter. What happened there? Did you see that? This guy just disappeared. That was so rude. Here, watch that one leaf that just goes plonk. Did you see that? They just come and go here. That's totally not on. And maybe he's just going behind the geometry there. That could be. It's very, very unpredictable. Gotta fade these things out with a mask or just do something clever that I don't know how to do. So then, whoops. So this, duplicate that more here. Good. We go through the leaves and we're all super happy. Flickering we don't worry about for now. Here this further down. This we don't mind anymore. And waterfall at the back. Maybe that's where we're gonna start. Well, actually, while we're here, why don't we start at the beginning? See, because now I see things floating around here, so I don't know. Was it leaf? It was just leaf, wasn't it? Leaf, there we go. Make make more leaves down here. Make lots more leaves. We need a ton of leaves down here, Let's see what that looks like. J upsets leaves. Blasphemy, that. And then you here, we were going to put you, oops. We were going to put you just down and maybe slightly further away from the tree. But maybe even duplicate you and put you down, because you can't have enough leaves here. Awesome. And now waterfall. You, yes, you. Totally talking about you. That could just be as simple as just Z fighting. Fixed it. Awesome. Mr. Jeremy, how's it going? Foliist. Floatist. That's it. Floatist. I mean, if we can't work this out with the particle emitter and the warm-up frames, because this looks better, doesn't it? I feel like we need more on this side now, so that's easy to duplicate that there. If we can't work that out, I can always go and extend just render as normal, but extend the camera like, 200 frames into the beginning and just not render those frames, or basically not save the frames. Maybe I have to have it rendered. I don't actually know how to do that. I thought it was just you tell it, hey, make 1000 frames before we cut in here. But hey, let's see on the leaf. That one, exactly. So if we go and put you here, wait a second, also put you down here. How's that for starters? Come on. How long does that need to produce some effects here, man? So I'm thinking, let's try this again, and I won't render this with that much anti-aliasing here. I'm just going to use one. Let me just switch that off, this whole thing, and render warm-up count. Maybe I'm going to go 2000. Let's do that, and I'll just overwrite what we have. More like water not looking good, and it wasn't even a waterfall. It was just a plane. But those are also, this is what I really like about examining these sets, to see how have they made certain effects possible without running into a ton of overhead. Like there weren't any waterfalls in the background. There were just planes with a little video rolling on it. So that's easy, isn't it? Oh, hello. Out of memory error trying to allocate a rendering resource. Well, that's not good, is it? Make sure your video card has the minimum required memory, or go home. That is so rude. It could just be because Premiere's open and has a lock on the files. It's a shame that things aren't all that forthcoming. With stuff, what, you crashed now? Unreal Engine 5.2, I tell you, it's not for the faint-hearted. Next project we're doing in 5.1, I'm telling you. The leaf blower thing that you have, like, what is that, 3,000-4,000 hours? Exactly. Last time I checked it was over 2,000, and of course you would have clocked up more, so Nate, you gotta admit when you got a problem, you know? You gotta admit it. Humble treasures. I say that loosely, I say that. Yes, that's true. The landscapes are really cool, and the foliage tools they have. And all the little movement effects. So that's even difficult in Blender. And that is very easy in Unreal Engine. So all the little particle emitters I had copied, no, they're here, aren't they? Yeah, they're still here. Okay, good. Yes, open that. And anti-aliasing, we don't worry, and this we just add a 0 to both these things. Do we need to just give it I might just go and put it into new folder. Okay, let's see if that works. So far so good. 2,000 warm-up frames. If that only takes 5 seconds or 20 seconds, we're okay rendering even 10,000. OG44! Good day, how you doing? Long time no see. How you been, my friend? O44, it used to be OG44. I like O44, all good. Oh, the leaf blower simulator got boring. Gotcha, gotcha. I would have never guessed. It looked quite funky. I love the streams that you did about it. Oh, that's really interesting. I don't know what that means. So maybe 2000 warm-up frames. Well, I can't believe it doesn't like 2000 warm-up frames and then just crashes. So the real issue must be something else. This can't be that. Let me try it with less warm-up frames. Not a gangster anymore, that's right. Now you're just the original rather than the original gangster. I like it. I tell you, Unreal Engine 5.2. Stay away. Use 5.1. That's what I do for production. And 5.1 had a problem yesterday, so I had to reinstall it, or I have had it verify itself. Some shaders just wouldn't compile. This is what happens when you work with 5.2. It's trash, man. Trash. The issue is that, I don't know, what's the problem again? So funny. Okay, I'll try this one more time. This, yes. Yes, no, yes. Yes, no, yes. And yes. Good. Super. And then this here. 1000 worked fine. Maybe I'll use 200 now. Let's see if it works at all in principle. Do you know there's something else that might help? Could it have something to do with textures? So our streaming pool size 3000. Does that make any difference? Is any of this nanite? Should any of this be nanite? Because I'm not sure it's the textures here. While we're talking about this. Hello? I don't think anything is nanite, but then it should also be black now, shouldn't it? I don't think it is nanite. Do we have overview? No, we have a huge crash, we do. It should just come up with something just much cooler, and we don't see that at all. I think 5.2 is proper crashed, you know. Can we change anything? Yes. So this is lit. That's a good start. Buffers. That is nice. This is kind of interesting to see. This is so the picture in the middle is what we usually see in the viewport, but all these other things here, those are the different render passes that happen on every frame when you play a game or when you render this out, and this is called the deferred rendering. So all these things are being layered on top of one another to bring you this final result. And if you consider how many passes that is, so this is the base color, the specular, subsurface color, and as you move it, you can see all of them move. And it's kind of cool, world normal. So then on the final pass, this is all being combined, and that then brings us that real-time picture. Interesting, isn't it? Quite funky. Remove the leaves, blow them away. I may have to. Maybe the particle emitter is just too strong. It could be. I'll try this one more time with 200 frames, which we know he's done before. But if he's got a problem now, yeah, then it has to be the amount of emitters I might be using. Nope, see, 200 frame count is totally fine for him. So we may just have to bring the whole camera out and just render 1000 extra frames and chuck them away later to get those effects going. I might just do that. Plane in the background is behaving. And people complain when they can't get 3000 FPS on a game. Yes, exactly. That is so true, Brian. And you think, if you knew the amount of work that's being done right there, I only have 36 frames a second. Well, be happy that you have those at whatever you're using, 4K. So I'm thinking, maybe is 5 seconds enough if we do that? I mean, it renders so fast. Let's treat ourselves to 10 seconds, shall we? Ish, down here. So we put the camera cut track here, but all the keyframes are still here. So Cam J, I think we'll, oh no, that stays here. But then the camera cut track is here. So put that also here. Plonk. And so now we're rendering more frames in the hope that this is gonna start making the leaves fall here. 10 seconds, that's gotta be enough time here. Let's see if it works. I'll overwrite everything. I'll also save everything. And then we'll do the logo, and then we'll do the second animation, because I'm confident we can get that done. I'm confident. So nothing happens, that's perfect, but the leaves are starting to fall. This is what we want, right? Yes, yes, see, yes, exactly what we want. And now we have the leaves. Yes, yes. Very good point. 40, that might actually be the... They when they tested out moving images back when they were starting the first movies, they worked out that 12 changing frames every second is enough to fool the eye into thinking, yep, that's movement. Anything below that we recognize as, well, that's a little bit wonky. But anything above that, 12 and above, we reckon is fine, which is why in the professional movie industry, 24 frames a second was adopted as the standard, to just go, hey, that's enough, so we'll just go double it and we're okay. And of course now we're so used to 60 frames a second, depending on what you watch. So some productions are still done in 24 frames a second because it has that look. It's the cinematic look that you see when you pan a camera and you have that tiny bit of camera shutter jitter effect, and that's what we associate with cinematic. And something like a 60 frame look, that is what we associate with news footage. So that's why directors often don't choose that. And also it's a little bit cheaper in post-production. So there is that. Oh yeah, Premiere. Premiere followed by Blender. Was this number 3 now? I can't remember. I think it was, wasn't it? Yes, yes, absolutely. That's what they teach you at Film and Video Engineering College, among other things. Sequence from clip. Gotcha. This is actually Messenger V3. That goes into here, and this is also Messenger V3, where we don't actually want to see all of this. Dang, why what? It's only rendered that now? It hasn't done any of the camera movement? Blasphemy! What's happened there? That isn't what we wanted, is it? Was it, do I need to just go do this? Because we don't want to do that, really. We want to, well, we could just go and copy that, I suppose, and put that. kind of here as when we do that. And maybe it needs to do that. That could be. It's only rendered the 10 seconds without movement. Why would you do that? That's just ridiculous. So do that, don't move, and just wait for the leaves to fall. Gotcha. No, 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 don't do that. Ah, that was the wrong button. This is the button. Perfect. There's so many things in Unreal Engine that are just so... Do you know what I mean? Terrible. We're going to override number 3 here. Or at least we'll try. Come on. So far so good. So far so good. Yes, there we go. We're moving, we're moving. Rage quit, send strongly worded letter. It's so funny, isn't it? I wonder, I don't have any equipment that shows me that frame rate, but I did have a laptop for maybe 3 days that could do that, but I didn't get a chance to try it out. I wonder if it's one of those things that once you get something like 120, 144 frames a second, that you think, I can't really look at this stuttering mess that we call 60 frames a second. I wonder. I hope it isn't, but I wonder. Callie, thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate you being here. This was very nice. Come again and good luck with your animation efforts. I'm gonna go import this again. And enjoy dinner, of course. There. No. Why? This really? This can't be right. We've seen all these images getting rendered. And they're of a still, aren't they? Unless Premiere is now freaking out. And it is only 35 seconds, so... I mean, I don't mind because we have those leaves here that I was worried about. So they're there now, so I'm kind of okay with that. However this worked, I'm okay with that. They're also here. This is nice. We're moving through the leaves and there's the foliage and all that. And there's more leaves here. This is good. There's also leaves over there somehow. Sweet. Yes. Well, that was good enough, wasn't it? I'm thinking. That was good enough. That in slightly higher frame rate with less compression artifacts, and I think we're okay. Peasant screen giant. Got you. How does YouTube handle higher frame rates? Can they actually handle that? I wonder. I'm just on second thought. I'm wondering if I should take that one, that one thing away. The emitter cloud that doesn't really do much for me. I like all this. I could do some more leaves here. That's okay. But when we're here, there's this emitter. That doesn't do anything for me. That's just like completely out of place. I think I want to get rid of that. Or just move it above the statue, maybe? Just get rid of it, I'm thinking. The disrespect. Let's get rid of it while we remember it. While we don't exactly worry about why the correct number of frames got rendered, even though we have clearly about 1,000 more. We're totally fine with that. This is the guy I'm talking about. You. P-Leaf 17. History. Good stuff. Okay. We're happy with this. We're going to re-render that later. For now, let's go into the Blender and go work on my little logo and see if it fits into the scene. If it doesn't, that's also fine. We have that other animation that's pretty much there. It's aside from the lighting. I'm not entirely sure what to do with the lighting. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to try here, and this is extra credit, the birds in the sky. I don't know how to take those across yet. I don't even know what things they are, but that is something else we can try. So we had this logo here yesterday, and I've tried a few things to make that nice. Ooh, look at that! £3.74 spent on the Humble store. Thank you so much for using my link. I appreciate that. Whoever did that. Mucho apreciado. Was that Portuguese? It was it? So this is what I was trying to do, but it wasn't great, and it also was a ton of work. So Brian had this exciting tip. He reminded me of a video that I've made in which I'm explaining how to use this awesome add-on called Mesh Clean, and I had forgotten what it was called, how to work with it, and thankfully Brian's remembered what it was. This was the actual initial geometry, and it's not great, and I was trying to make that better. I had already split this into individual bits and pieces, and I'm gonna go and make a duplicate of that collection. And which one was this one now? This one was the one that didn't quite work so well, so I'm going to go and get rid of that, including everything in there. Blender, that's what I meant. And this one I'm going to call logo Meshed. It isn't yet, but it will be soon. And I've installed that on the latest version of Blender, and it works totally fine. Mesh Clean, here it is. And we select what we want to give the treatment. We pick a preset. Up here we say import clean, then it does some values, and we just say apply to selected, and boom, it looks great, or thereabouts. It looks good enough for me to do stuff with, so I don't intend to texture it. It's just going to be flat color, so the UVs are going to be fine for me. I think these things, they need to be in there. I don't think, can I get rid of those edges, dissolve edges? No, that can't happen. Yeah, I'm okay with that. You stay as you are. The only other thing I'm trying to figure out, if I go and do this with I, can I go and inset stuff? No, can't do that. Can I, with Control R, can I go and do an edge loop into the D? No, I can't. How about if I do this? Oh yeah, it wasn't a complete. Does this work? Maybe. No, it doesn't work because it's not a proper edge loop, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. I might try a bevel in a moment, but I think I'm gonna do this to all of these guys here. Ding. Beautify topography. Perfect. Thank you so much for reminding me, Brian. This is just really, really exciting. I knew there was a way. I knew there was a way. Poor birds. Poor birds, Nate. Let me try and see what a bevel modifier could bring to the party. I'm not saying it's going to be great, but since everything on the planet has a bevel, can have more than one segment, like 3 segments, 4 segments. Am I actually seeing anything here? I'm seeing something. It looks a little bit better, I find. It doesn't have that sharp edge anymore. Maybe with a different matte cap, that might be might be better. Let me just go put some temporary materials on here before I do anything harsh. I always forget what colors my logo actually has. We have pink, yellow, green and blue, but I don't remember which segment has what. So I may have to just look at a thumbnail of my bits and pieces. I'm sure, there we go. So the 3D is pink. The pink, blue, green, yellow. Gotcha. I like it. So we'll call this one pink. And I'm just going to use viewport display for this. Pink followed by blue. Gotcha. Like a light blue. Blue, green, yellow. Gotcha. That's kind of a mint-ish green. And then we have this guy, that's going to be yellow. Yellow, like that, perfect. So, how do we like the bevel? This one has a bevel, this one does not. I'm definitely in favor of the bevel. Here it is. I don't know how big it needs to be. It doesn't actually make a difference how big I put the bevel here. Just like 0.2 is already bevel enough. I'm good with that. Maybe I'll go and kind of just copy that. No, I can't get it. Dang. Okay, fine. So just go do all that manually again on 3 objects, or even better actually, just go get rid of that, join them all together, put one bevel modifier on, and then we know it's the same one overall, since it needs to be the same logo anyway. Three segments looked snazzy. And that at 0.2 looked really good, didn't it? I think. More bigger bevels, yes. I love it. Slap it on there. Yeah, I think so too. I'm a little bit worried that the bevel doesn't change the way I'm expecting it to, but perhaps I'm expecting too much. So maybe I'm okay with this already. One other thing I want to do is change the origin point of this. So like if this would be the middle here, set origin to 3D cursor. Yeah, that. Save, and I suppose, do we need to worry about UV mapping at all? We could, because this looks terrible. So I think maybe we need to at least consider making it better than it currently is. With a bit of the old Smart UV project, perhaps. Interesting. Do you think Packmaster could make that better? Maybe. It's sizest, isn't it? Yes, I agree. It's only sizest. The sizest guy. Normalize, I like, and then pack. Ooh. Yeah, way better. I'm glad we did that. That was made such a big difference. I like it. If I had been really professional, I would have made a copy of this before I did that. So in case I wanted to retain the original maps, which of course I don't. 3D Shenanigans logo. There. I think now we have it. Let's see what happens if we go and export that out. I'll just put that on the desktop for now. Just the selection with material groups. And that's it. What says the Unreal Engine to such frivolities, I wonder? I'll put this right into the cinematics folder. 3D Shenanigans logo, check. And do we want materials? No, we don't. We want the groups, but we want to make our own material. And we don't have any animations. There's also no skeletal meshes or textures to speak of. But there is... We could just make this a nanite thing while we're at it. Let's try that. Oh yes, right. So, and it's split everything into parts here. So let's go and delete that, because that's not what I want. Let's go and leave it the one object it is. And it's not actually, is it under split? It's not split, it's something like merge or combine, perhaps. Combine static meshes, yes. And now we have one object. Perfection. I was tentatively thinking of putting that here in the sand. I don't know if it's going to fit in here or not, but it's as a little test. Hello. It's not all that big, is it? Oh no, what you do to the 3, dude? What did you do to all the holes, man? That is totally uncool. I think that is an Unreal Engine thing. Maybe I should have triangulated it before. That was, of course, my mistake. Oh, it needs to have proper triangulation. Otherwise, Unreal Engine goes and does it, and it does it not the way we want. Remesh and bevel then. Oh. Let me try. Let me go and duplicate this again. Just before we apply that, let me go apply this now. And how did you triangulate again in does that, it's an edit mode, isn't it? Is it Control T? Yes. There, this is what we need for there to be no issues. It's just as bad as it was before, wasn't it? Remeshing is the way to go, Brian. Remeshing is the way to go. I mean, Unreal Engine will be able to handle this, I'm sure, because now at least it is triangulated. It might not look great. UV maps are still intact. Man, the stuff you gotta think about. Whoops, no. Oh my god, what was W? No. W was bad. How do I get out of W? Man. Gotta reinstall Blender now. That was not, what does W do? Oh dear. I'm gonna go export this again. Same settings, same everything. And in Unreal Engine, I'm just gonna say import, re-import. Re-import. Same thing. Hopefully, import done with issues. Gotcha, thanks Unreal Engine, that's so helpful. Let's just go and delete import again. The OBJ file appears to be empty. Ooh, W is wonky mode. Wonky mode does horrible things. It brings up the selection circle that you'd usually get when you put a C on it. Radius what? I don't understand. What does W do? I want my selection mode back. Was it tweak then? Select box. Oh, that's what that does. Is it the same as in Maya? No, of course not. Oh, look at that. T makes this go away. Did you know that? That's exciting, isn't it? Press W again. Oh, thank God for that. So what is that then? It's tweak mode, isn't it? Select items using box selection. Shift spacebar B, shortcut cycle W. What? Shift spacebar B, that's a good shortcut. Shift spacebar B. Oh, I see. Shift space. Oh, that's interesting. I know this comes up in scout mode sometimes. In scout mode, let me show you what it looks like. Scout mode, it wants to be really helpful. It goes and does this, and you go, yeah, that's really helpful. That's when you say shortcut, and this is not a list that's so long it goes off the screen. There's helpful, and then there is overly ambitious. Oh my. So how do we do, is circular selection the same in object mode? No, it's not, as it is in selection mode. In object mode it does nothing. I'm so glad. Blender and its little intricacies. Okay, I'll export that again because I think I may have had nothing selected. I might also make that a bit bigger here, 10 times bigger. And then, meanwhile, in Unreal Engine, import thing again. Aha! It looking insanely handsome. Is it nanite as well? Yes, it is nanite. Ha ha ha! And look at that! It just goes and subdivides it on the fly, depending on how close I come. That is very cool. And nothing else in this level is nanite, so I'm wondering if I should just make that happen. Risk Unreal Engine crashing again. Yeah, so blackness means this is all not nanite. I mean, you know, let's go save it first. See if that's actually doable. See if we can make things, turn things into super efficient nanite-ness. Like we tried yesterday. It didn't work so well yesterday. Blender, the passive-aggressive 3D tool. Let's see, I mean, anything that has more than 100 triangles, let's enable nanite on it. Oh good, it worked. So now if we go to nanite triangles, everything is nanite except for the landscape. I think the landscape can't be nanite. Or maybe it's not quite done yet. Even the sky sphere is nanite. Look at that. Some stuff is still being built. You're being too impatient, Jay. Mesh distance fields are still being calculated. So not everything is, but it certainly helps, I'm thinking. The angel thing here is not. That is interesting. Why not? It's good stuff, right? Absolutely. I'm not entirely sure why the music keeps stopping and keeps popping in and out here. And you're not nanite. Why are you not nanite then? Maybe you don't need to be. Hard to say. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for it. Otherwise, the tool would have said, "Yep, sure, that's all good." We could just go and enable nanite support here. Hit apply, and it's doing its thing. And now it is nanite. I'm always ambivalent, thinking, was this a good idea now or not? I can't tell. There's also, you can see triangles, but you can also see, I think, was it clusters? Clusters is also good, and everything is Voronoi. That is beautiful as well. I don't know what that really is. I suppose that's kind of its calculation method or whatnot. But so this is not geometry that's just showing the groups. I suppose it analyzes and it says, well, that group needs to have subdivision and that group can stay or something. It looks just very pretty. I'm thinking it's just very nice to look at for the whole psychedelic approach. Okay, so now my angel also is nanite. That's good. Okay, we've done tons of optimizations. That's awesome. I think the 3D Shenanigans sign was also nanite. I think now we need to go and set that up, don't we? Did I pop it in the sand here? Or not? I knew it was somewhere. There it is. I suppose it needs some a good turning around here. Also proper 90 degrees like this. Oh, come on. And a few materials that would be nice as well. Would it even make sense to have this in this level or not so much? I was more thinking as an old ancient thing in the sand type thing. Oh man, that's just wonky. Yeah, it actually lying down like so. I've angered the rotation gods now. So easy to anger these things. Whoops. Man. Yeah, not exactly a centerpiece. I just meant it for it to be, it's kind of, in here somewhere. And perhaps with a metal material, if we do have something like that. Do we have starter content here? I don't know if I put that in here. I don't think I have. Starter content, there we go. And there is gold, so we could try gold on all these material zones here. Would we even see it? Kind of makes that... No, we don't! We can't even see it! That's a shame, isn't it? We can't even see it. That's a shame. All this work and we can't even see it. So it needs to be further up here to at least make a cameo appearance if we wanted it to do that. Bright hot pink and glowing. That might be good, yes. The pinkest pink known to man. The pinkest stuff known to man. Oh, what a shame. Why is it not lying down? This is not how I placed that. Blasphemous. I can see we're going to have a lot of fun with that logo. At least make a cameo appearance while you're here. So much for that second animation, huh? Unless we're going to do a late shift today. Point light behind it and we're good, I'm thinking. Oh yeah, let's not look at the UV mapping too closely. Art of art! How's it going, buddy? So it's just the supporting actor in this. Lights, ding, point light, excellent. You know, perhaps. Perhaps something slightly warmer. Maybe that's exactly what this dead corner needs over here. Okay, well, let's see what that looks like with the camera. Do we even see it? And again, we don't. Why do we not see this thing? I don't really understand that. I mean, the light is there. Where's the logo? Quality time with your eldest grandchildren. That is nice. Peeping out from behind the waterfall. If only it would show up, you know. I currently don't quite understand where it's hiding. What a puzzle. I think it just doesn't want to be in the scene. So it's here, but it's not in the position that I put it in. So curious. It's such a shy logo, isn't it? It's got to be a shy logo. Because this is not the placement we had. Certainly isn't. Yeah, that is completely not the placement I had. Does that make sense? It doesn't to me. It totally doesn't to me. We had it standing up, 90, we turned it around. This is the third time now that we're doing that. 90, we had said make yourself at least 10 times bigger. And, you know, do reckon it could be, is it something to do with the sequencer that the moment I move the playhead, it is auto keyframing? Oh, who tracked you, may I just ask? I don't think you are supposed to be involved in any of the keyframing issues here. At least that's an explanation. Which also means, can we potentially, no we can't, can we? Dang, you aren't supposed to be on the menu here. Well, okay, go be in the sequencer then, but you're only getting one keyframe on the first frame. Who tracked it? Usually you have to manually track things. So if you have something that you want keyframing, you head over here to track, and then you pick the thing. Often something that's selected will appear here. And if you don't do that, it just doesn't get keyframed. It's very disappointing, you know. Extremely disappointing. Big, you know. Go big. Or go home. Ooh, that's nice. If we put a light in the front of it, might do that. Dang, buddy. Okay, fine. We'll do this. And then one of the lights, like let's say you, we can try what happens if we illuminate you from the front here. I don't think it looks great. I got, what happened now? Dude, come back. Why would that happen? I was never anywhere near the delete key. Why did this, right, this logo really doesn't want to be in here. This is so bad. What a naughty logo. Crazy. Control Z made it worse. Control Z made it worse. I did something with the right mouse button. Man. All that effort. But it's just so convenient to work with. You know, yeah, sure, 50% of the time you lose most of what you did. But since it's all so fast, it doesn't matter because you can super easily recreate it. Duh, that's the philosophy, you know. Nothing's forever, we're all gonna die anyway, so you might as well enjoy the journey. Yes, okay. Gotcha. It's keyframing things again. Why? This is... You shouldn't even be on the sequencer track, dude. That is so bad. Okay, the animation will continue without the logo. I've had enough of it. Logo is officially banned from the scene. We're going to use it instead in the other scene, like we said. That is so funny. Okay, fine. This is it deleted. It is no longer on the sequencer track. Let's have a quick look for the last 10 minutes and see if we... Don't worry about the reflection captures, you know, just build them. Don't tell me about it. Just go take care of it. Dang. We'll do that another day. So the other one was the Olympus animation, and that is almost done. Where was it? Olympus here. And I think, was it under levels? Olympus. Yes. Let's try it. Wouldn't that be cool, Brian? The action will terminate your play in session. Was I doing that? Sure, terminate, whatever, it's good. I didn't mean to play anything in any session. This also wasn't supposed to simulate. We're also not playing anything here. This is the other scene. So we need to do something about the lighting. But I think I had a bit of an animation going here already. I don't really know what the other cameras are doing in here. I might go and take them all away. Yep, really don't want to use any of them. Apply to all, get rid of, don't want to, all good thing, but I only want my one camera here. Yes, so I was thinking the logo could be here, and maybe in gold would actually look quite nice. And just go through here. That was the plan. But now that I'm seeing this awful lighting, I'm not entirely sure how to fix it. So it's ever so slightly bright on the outside here. I wonder, does it need to be that? Yeah, lighting is a bit awful, but maybe that's just the way I put the exposure in here. What happens with auto exposure? Oh, I remember, it was terrible. I remember now, it was pretty terrible. Yeah, so lighting wise, I don't really know how to handle that. You make the outside darker, then everything on the inside is underexposed. Let's see if we can make the outside light a bit less terrible. Maybe the directional light, is that what drives it? Yes. So I don't mind it having a light type feel, but terribility, that's never good. Or maybe 0 even, is that something we could consider? Well, then it's like pitch black outside. We don't want to do that either. So 1 was already too much, so maybe 0.2. And then also it being green is just ultra terrible. If it wants to be kind of a heavenly light, it should either be yellow or warm. I think also some of the internal lights here, they have a bit of a weird green color. Are these point lights here or are those just reflections? Point lights. Yeah, they're all ugly green here. That's terrible. Maybe I'm gonna go and just replace them all. Those things and the spotlights here. I think that's all just that's not good. I'm gonna handle this with natural light and some of my own light sources, I think. In fact, I might handle this with a different product altogether. If I just go and take the whole directional light out, I might do that. The light beams are okay. Skylight itself, skylight also goes, and I'm going to go and have that handled with something completely different from the marketplace, namely something called Ultra Dynamic Sky. Yes. Apply to... Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Nate. It's so crazy, isn't it? This is nice. This is just the one thing you drag in, and it even has weather effects, and they're fairly easy. So I'm hoping it's just as easy to make that use with this set. If not, there are other sets. I'm happy to use different sets. This is partly the problem with these Humble bundles. Sometimes it's all awesome, other times it isn't. It's Ultra Dynamic Sky, perfect. There's literally one thing you drag in and it's called Ultra Dynamic Sky. Ding. And then we wait a little bit. Then we wait for Lumen to catch up. You can be here, it's fine. You can go in the lighting folder. And then we'll see how I can make this, the outside, look good. And it's still set to auto exposure, I think. No, it's manual. That's good. That's good. Is it actually infinite? Yes, it is. Right, so time of day, this is kind of the cool thing about this. If you switch the time of day from 9 in the morning, you can have it at 6 in the morning. Oops. 6 in the morning, then the whole mood and ambience of this whole thing changes. You can even do it for nighttime. And then you see the stars coming out. So I think that's something we can probably work with better. So these light beams, I think they're kind of artificial God rays, aren't they? I'm not sure if we need them. Let's see, early in the morning, or earlier even. And then just brighten things up here with internal lights. I think that might just be better. I'm considering something like a rectangular light, maybe. I think this shines forward, so if I go and rotate that around, then it'll shine to the bottom. Oh, I can now see that these light beams here, hello, these light beams here, they are a bit, they're warm. They're supposed to be warm. They're supposed to be warm. What are they actually? I don't really know. They're just, oh, they're sprites. I'm not sure if they're helpful or if they're a hindrance. I'm thinking there's too much fakery going on. I think Unreal Engine can handle this better just by itself, really, with the light shaft occlusion. And if we just let Lumen deal with it, maybe this was made for Unreal Engine 4, so they didn't have these types of tools. So I don't think this isn't such a good idea to have these things. So light beams, let's just make them all invisible. And just, you know, then I might not need my rectangle light anymore either if we do this cleverly. I'm trying to figure out, it's not actually time of day, it's just something along the line. So 600 is kind of 6 in the morning, but 5:30 isn't 5:30, 5:50 is 5:30 sort of thing. This might work. I think this is lighting we can live with. If we replicate this, the rectangle light, to just illuminate a little bit of the floor here and perhaps also the ceiling. Perhaps instead of a rectangle light, then maybe a point light might be better if it's large enough. And then we just illuminate all these things that we're going through. Let's try it here. Or there's a sphere light, I suppose. That's the other option. Oh no, we don't have it. It's a point light. Point light, and then change the size, maybe. How do we do that? Source radius, was that it? Soft source radius, perhaps. To give it a bit of a softer look, like so. I think actually white is probably the best color for these lights. And then this is where our logo is going to go, somewhere. Maybe not here. Oh, we went the other way. I think we need to go here. This is where the logo is supposed to be. This is where the logo goes. Okay, now logo. Last time you caused terrible problems. The messenger cinematics, here it was. Right, go here. Be the star. Here it is. Bye, Art. Thank you so much for dropping by. Always nice to see you, buddy. Oh, God bless you, Sean. Why does it have riffles? Some kind of a normal map that I don't think I added on the... Oh no, it's because it has the normal material. It doesn't have its gold material applied yet. Let's do that first. That was in starter content, wasn't it? Gold. Perfect. Now it's, you know, the golden sign. And you, I think, will repurpose you for the hero sign. The hero light. Sweet. Bit of crazy illumination from the back. Could also use that rectangle light here. This may look good. If we really crank it up. So there we go. We need one more at the top here, I find. Perhaps even another one at the back here. That could look nice. With all glitz and glamour. This is a nice shot to end up, right? I'm thinking. It looks like Shenanigans. I love it. Yes, and maybe we can animate some of the lights so that they just move around subtly to give a funky effect there. I'm going to end up here. That could be good. That could be good. Especially if I make the camera really, really wide. See what that looks like. Maybe we need to film more of the interior. Oh, we're already 18, so maybe we'll try 12. Is 12 ridiculous? Yes, we probably want to be higher here. Even if we start low on the ground. Do we want to start low on the ground? Perhaps we don't. Maybe we want to start higher. What does it look like when we get close? Hello? Camera, you're no longer speaking to me. It's a shame. Well, maybe I'll set up the camera again. I'm not sure if it was fantastic to begin with. So, cinematics. And in here we're going to have a new level sequence. And I'll call this one Olympus Shenanigans. That should be good. Oops. Man. Navigation F. Unreal Engine. Trying to be helpful, not exactly succeeding. Okay, so this could be good. Oh, I see there's the stairs here. Gotcha. Maybe we can come in from this angle then here. That might be good. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. Camera. Almost nice. 18 millimeters. Like start here. Keep going. Not so much for the timing now, but if we were to keep going kind of down here, then follow that. Then reveal that. And then just, linger somehow here. That should be good, shouldn't it? That'll work. Not that the timing currently works, but if we just make all of that a little bit slower, then we're kind of here. That should work, shouldn't it? Lighting wise, I'm thinking if I just accentuate things in here with point lights behind the pillars, I think that's a good session. I'm working Monday and Wednesday, but if you want to join me for a spontaneous Tuesday Twitch session, we could totally hammer this in. And I might have, by that point, I might have already rendered out the 4K version of the Messenger little thing that we've made today. I think this is going to look nice. And after that, I don't know if we're going to have time on Tuesday, but if I do, then I'd like to have a go at these walking little people that I've made there. Those are quite nice. The kind of different colored Unreal Engine skeletons that can walk around. Not so much for this, but for the medieval level. I'm thinking that's a good idea. Yes, let's do that. Thank you so much, Brian. Yes, let's do that. Tuesday around 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're up for it, I'm there on Twitch. I haven't been on Twitch in a while, so it'd be good to see you. My friends, have a wonderful rest of Sunday. Don't forget, today, as much as next week, is a good day to have a good day. Thank you for joining me, and I hope I'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.